Du, 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 du. Welcome to the Audible Podcast, where we talk everything sports. My name's Braden. Joining me today is co-host Mr. Matt.
What's up,
Um,
fellas?
First things first, we're going to talk about the 49ers and Rams game. Back and forth. The Rams were the heavy favorites in this game. Betting wise, only 8.5, but to the general public, everybody thought the Rams were going to put BTA. Most impressive thing from this game, obviously, Mac Jones. The guy cooked, kind of proves that Brock Purdy is potentially a system quarterback. A lot of people, I saw that on I think an ESPN post, and everybody in the comments was like, "Well, this makes Jalen Hurts a system quarterback too." So just a lot of quarterback slander this weekend, unless your name or this Thursday, Friday, unless your name is Mac Jones. Another thing, obviously, besides Mac Jones, I think a big problem in this game was the running back room. Um, you had Kyron Williams fumble on the 1 yard line. You had a Blake Corum fumble. Both dropped wide open catches in the backfield that could have been first downs. I believe Kyron on a third down was wide open, had room to run, and just dropped it. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Another thing I saw was Renardo Green. I'm a little biased because I'm a Florida State fan, but for a good part of that game, he was home, home. DBU, Florida State. Um, Last thing I want to take away from that game before Matt talks is the Rams kicker. If he makes the extra point, that's 1 point added. And then if he doesn't miss that, granted it was a long field goal, but I'll never understand how you're an NFL kicker. I think 60 is kind of pushing it, but like anything inside of 60, personally, especially if you're in a dome and it's not super windy. Not saying the Rams are in a dome, but you should be making everything. I mean, what do you do all day? At every practice, you're kicking. You're not doing what everybody else is doing. You're not wearing your body out. Like, I don't understand how these guys are missing kicks. But what did you take away from this game?
I mean, going on that kicker thing, like you can just tell he's had like six blocked field goals this year. You would
Yeah,
think that like one blocked field goal is probably like the O line fault or something, but teams
right.
know like he's probably just not kicking it high enough, and I don't know. I think that's a huge problem since teams know that now. But my takeaway, Mac Jones played ridiculous. I mean, they made Brock Purdy. Oh my god! Like, I mean, I'm a Seahawks fan, so I'm a bit biased here. I'm just gonna hate on Brock Purdy, but it kind of just shows like Jimmy Garoppolo succeeded in this offense. Trey Lance
Yep.
had a couple good games before he got cut, and then now Brock Purdy. I mean, you just gave him
Yeah.
that $50 million contract when you just had Mac Jones play the same level as him at $7 million. It it kind of just shows something that a lot of quarterbacks can succeed in that offense. So
Yeah. Shout out Kyle
yeah.
Shanahan.
Speaking on Kyle Shanahan, that first drive, he whipped it. He was like the 50th page of his playbook, looking at advanced plays. Every single play, you could tell that play to like only one of those plays were going to be easy game. But he wanted to get his team rolling and make the Rams feel very crap about themselves. And I like that a lot. And Robert Sala, I mean, you could say it was Sean McVay's fault for everything, but I mean, he schemed that well. Like for having that many injuries on defense. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think he could have done better, honestly. Same
Uh,
with Kyle Shanahan, the going against the Rams defensive coordinator, he got out schemed that whole entire game. I felt bad for every Rams fan watching.
I felt bad for like Matthew Stafford. Like I felt like he was cooking and wasn't really. I mean, obviously Puka went nuts too, but like
Yeah.
I said with the running backs, I mean, just no help. Um, and I mean that last. To be fair though, he missed Tutu on a wide open. They ran last drive of the game. They ran like a kind of
The
post
crosser.
corner route,
Yeah.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
was wide open dot. And then they ran it the exact. They ran basically the exact same play, and he had it in the back of the end zone. And Stafford overthrows him. So I mean, if he doesn't overthrow him, it's a touchdown. They probably win the game.
Yeah.
Also in overtime, I don't know why you wouldn't want the ball personally if you were the Rams. You just went down that entire that final drive where they had to go and put points on the board. They cooked the Niners defense, like fried them.
Hmm.
And then they decided to defer. You're going to give them, if they go down and score a touchdown, you're going to give them all the momentum. I mean, granted, they didn't, they only took three. But, like, if I'm the Rams in that situation and they won the coin toss, I would definitely be wanting that, especially with how good Stafford was playing. And I mean, Devontae Adams in the fourth quarter was open
Hmm.
everywhere, wide open.
Yeah.
And then obviously you could give it to Puka whenever and wherever, and he was going to, I mean, he went nuts too. Um, Kind of pisses me off just because traded him in fantasy this year. We won't talk about it. But yeah, were you a little upset with Richard Sherman at all during the game? Maybe during halftime.
Yes. I'm a Seahawks fan, but like you play for the Seahawks for most of your career, you don't give them nearly that much support. 49ers, my God. He just does not stop when he talks about them. They were playing good, yes, but even if they're doing stuff that uh, I don't even know. I wish I would remember what he said. Okay. I need chill on Richard. Okay, so
He's still
we
good.
got yeah. We got Devonte Adams.
Yeah.
First half, you would think he did rough. I mean, you would feel like that, but you can just tell by like the plays. There's like
Mhm.
on like third down, they'd always run these pick routes. He was always doing it, and he would bring two DBs with him. One time he did it, he got two DBs with him, and then he got Kyron Williams wide open. And then the second half, they actually made him the primary receiver, and he just 7 targets, 5 receptions, something like that. He had like 80 yards one drive. I mean, it was ridiculous. So, I mean, you could just tell how big of an impact he has on that team.
Another thing, I feel like the Rams defense didn't do enough to disturb Mac at all. I mean,
Yeah,
especially in the first half, I feel like he was getting the ball out super quick, which I mean is just credit to Mac Jones playing aggressive with his nuts out pretty much. Um,
hmm
but at the same time, it's like when you got a guy, obviously he has plenty of experience in the NFL. Um, but I mean, I don't think he really practiced this week. He was coming off an injury himself. He said in the post game interview that he didn't really practice. You saw him walking off the last drive. He looked like he was going to throw up on the sideline. When
yeah.
you have a quarterback like that, I feel like you got to be putting constant pressure on him. And I feel like the
hmm
Rams defense played pretty soft. I mean, they were just allowing like 4 yard slants, 3 yard
Yeah.
outs over and over and over and over. And that's, if you just allow that all game, it's just going to wear you down. And I think that's exactly what happened. That's credit to the 49ers coaching staff. I mean, after that game, do you think that the Niners have Super Bowl chance? Like the playoff hope alive? Are they going to run the NFC?
I think the Rams lost that more than the 49ers won. I mean, you can just tell the way they were calling that, the Rams were calling that defense. That first drive, they were just playing so soft, like you said. Christian
Yeah.
McCaffrey was open on these 2 yard in routes. You let Christian McCaffrey get hot. They started to double him basically in the second half, so he didn't get much. And then 49ers used him as a decoy, then that screwed them. But,
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't let Christian McCaffrey get. You, that was terribly coached by the Rams defensive coordinator. And the pressure thing, I completely agree with that. You're playing with a guy that hasn't started really hasn't. I mean, he started for the Jags last year, but he didn't do good. He doesn't have much confidence in himself.
Yeah.
So if you just bring some pressure, have a couple of incompletions, you're
Or if
gonna
you
make him
just put
scared for this thing.
or if you just put a big hit on him.
Yeah,
Imagine
exactly.
if they schemed up something on the D line where Jared Verse could get a hit on him. I mean, that would definitely he, as you saw, like I said, he was already hurt. If you just pop him at one good time, then he's probably a little more. I mean, there was one touchdown he threw where he was literally practically getting hit, didn't even finish his follow through, and it was a die.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that doesn't happen if he gets popped early in the game. He's gonna be that throw is not going to be as precise. I mean, he was willing to take that hit. If he takes a good hit earlier in the game, then that ball is not going to be like that because he's gonna freeze up, be
Hmm.
scared to throw that.
What are your thoughts on McVay's decision of running it at the end of the game? Like 4th and 1. I mean,
Oh, brother.
yeah,
It's just hard to tell. I mean, personally, I would have thrown it I mean, that play the earlier in the game that they scored a touchdown on, where Puka kind of like slid underneath and caught that little
hmm
1 yard like almost curl, I guess you can call it.
yeah,
I thought that was a great play call. Um,
mm,
when you got somebody, I mean, Puka is incredible. He's so shifty off the line. You could probably do anything with him. You could put him one on one in the outside. Um, but I mean, they had success kind of running it up the middle with Kyron. Um, so I mean, I don't hate it, but when you take that much time, I think there was a timeout and more on that play, and then you go and run it up the middle. I think everybody in the stadium knew what they were doing.
yeah,
I don't think you really
exactly.
had anybody out wide on that play. I know motions. Stafford was under center. I mean, it was pretty obvious what was happening. And then even if they weren't running, when you put Stafford under center, the tush push is so popular now. The 49ers ran it earlier in the game, but Max sneaked off to the left. It was just
Yeah.
too obvious, in my opinion, that they were running the ball there. And move into college football. We're just going to rapid fire these college football games, the top 25 matchups for you, and see what your predictions are on that. So obviously, like I said, BYU's playing. They're up 14-3 in the second quarter right now. We'd both be on BYU there. This
Yep.
one could be a little bit of a trap. Um, Kentucky at Georgia. The line is 20.5 favoring Georgia. Who do you think wins that game?
I mean, I think Kentucky covers, but I got Georgia.
Yep, I agree. Same thing. I think 20 is just way too much in the SEC. Kentucky is
Hmm.
usually a pretty. These are like their Super Bowl games when they're playing these big SEC opponents. Um, they just tend to play harder, play more physical. So same here, taking Kentucky to cover, Georgia to win. Next, we have number 14 Iowa State going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati favored 1.5, so not really favored. The game's up in the air. Pretty much the same spread. Who do you have in that?
I'm pretty sure surprised about the spread. I don't know if there's any injuries or anything, but I'm gonna go Iowa State for that one.
Yeah, I am too. They had a big win earlier in the season against Illinois. I mean, smoked them. Um, and Illinois was pretty favored in that game. I just like it could be a trap game, kind of like how Florida State and Virginia was, but I'm still
Yep.
going to go Iowa State. Next, we have Wisconsin. They've played Alabama earlier in the year, so they've got some what's the word I'm looking for? Got some experience with good teams under their belt. They're going to Michigan, and Michigan is a 17.5 point favorite.
I got Michigan. I think they're trying to prove something this year after the rough year they had last year, and they're home. So I'm gonna go with Michigan, but I think Wisconsin will cover the spread.
I'm gonna take Michigan too. I really like Underwood. He's a dog. He bleeds aura.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
and I think if you're Michigan, eventually this year you're gonna have to let him just throw the ball and let it fly.
Yeah.
He's so
They're just
talented. Yeah, he's
yeah.
so talented. You just let him complete a couple early in the game, and it's just gonna build his confidence more and more this season. And I mean, when you got to play Ohio State, you're gonna want your quarterback to be as like confident as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna actually take Michigan to cover the 17.5, and Michigan obviously win. Next, we have number 22 Illinois going to Purdue, favored by 8.5. Who you got?
I got Illinois here, and I got them covering the spread. They had that rough game against Indiana, but then they had a pretty good game against USC, so I think they'll beat Purdue on this one easily.
Yep, I'm gonna take Illinois to cover as well. Next, we got Penn State going to UCLA, 24.5 point favorites.
Oh, I think Penn State is real. After that Oregon game, I think they're really feeling it right now. I think they're gonna whoop UCLA, and Nico is not looking really good right now. So I think he's gonna really feel it this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Penn State too. Um, to give belt. I'll take them
Yep.
to I'll take them to cover. Um, UCLA, like you said, Nico sucks. We're gonna
Yeah,
skip
he's
over the Florida
we got.
Texas game. Yeah, we're not big Nico fans over here. We're gonna skip over Florida Texas. We're gonna go a little bit deeper into that game here in a minute. Vandy and Bama college game day. Vanderbilt plus 11.5, which means Alabama is minus 11.5. Vanderbilt obviously won last year. Alabama coming off a huge win um, against Georgia in Georgia. Who are you taking?
First off, should not be college game day. Just to say right here,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
uh, I think it's got to be Alabama. Like obviously, Vandy had a really good game last year, but I don't think Alabama lets that happen 2 years in a row. I think they just caught him on a bad week, and I think Alabama will cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the same. I've heard a lot of big time analysts and guys like Kirk Herbstreit say that Diego Pavia is like he's a menace, and especially when it comes to this game, he's locked in.
Hmm.
Um, but I can't bet against Ty Simpson after what I saw last week. Like he looks like the
Yeah.
Heisman right now. After that
It
game,
was.
if I think if the season was to end today, Ty Simpson is the Heisman.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Completely
I
agree.
think you got to clean up Brian Williams a little bit. Literally, just stick him. He's got the BTJ right now. Just stick him in front of a machine. Um, to be fair, that was a tough catch. You're looking back early in the
Yeah.
game, so I mean you can't bash the kid, but he has
Hmm.
had the yips this year when it comes to catching the ball. I don't think it'll be a long term thing. He's too talented after last year. I think all it takes is one play like that where he catches it and he's back. Is the
Yeah.
way I view that. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm taking Alabama with the spread to put BTA. Next, we got Boise State at number 21 ranked Notre Dame, a 1-2 Notre Dame team. They did get a big one last week. 21.5 point favorites over Boise.
I think they're trying to prove something. Those first two games were very rough for them, and yeah, I think they'll cover, and I think they'll beat them by way more than the spread is. So I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. Um, First two games were rough, like you said. Um, they played two great teams, but they were still ranked. They were 0-2 ranked. I think if they're unranked after that, they probably play a little bit better. Last week they still won, but I think they play a little bit better. Sitting at number
mm,
21, I mean, it's wide open for them. They get a couple losses here and there between teams in the top 12, top 15. They can easily slip their way into the playoffs this year. Like you said, Boise is not the same without Genty. It's not the same team. So I'm going to take Notre Dame to cover. I think they win by probably 30. Also, their quarterback is legit too. Um,
hmm
Next, number 24, Virginia, moving up in the rankings after beating Florida State. They're going to Louisville, where they're 6 point underdogs. Louisville favorite by 6.5.
I mean, it's hard not to take Virginia here because of last week. I think I am going to take Virginia, or I got them covering the spread at least. But their quarterback looked nice.
Yeah.
But,
Uh, Louisville this year has been solid. I like their quarterback a lot. Um, this could be another trap game where Virginia just rides the hot hand and they're just too full of themselves and go in and drop a dud. Kind of like how I think what
yeah,
Florida State did is beat Alabama, you win two games by 50 plus, and then you roll into Virginia on a Friday night. You're probably thinking it's just going to be the time of your lives, Friday night football again, and then you just get
yeah.
stomped. Um, I don't think that's the case with Virginia. Like you said, I think their quarterback's legit. Their defense is pretty good. Um, but yeah, I'm taking Virginia cover. I'm taking Virginia to win too. Money line's plus 195. Um, might sprinkle a little bit on that. Then we got Kent State at Oklahoma. Pretty obvious. We're both going to Oklahoma there. Um,
Hmm.
then we got number 11 Texas Tech at Houston. Both taking Texas Tech to win, cover. Minnesota Ohio State OH.
Ohio.
We're taking Ohio State. I would like to see them be a little bit more aggressive on offense. Their defense is great. Um, their running back could be one of the best in the nation.
Hmm.
So I would like to see them win that game by like 35. It would make me feel really good about Ohio State. The spread's at 23.5. I think they
Yeah.
cover that, but I do want to see the offense be a little bit more explosive. Let that boy
Yeah.
rip it. Let the running back rip it. Throw it up to Jeremiah Smith every single play. Like I don't care what you got to do, bruh. Just let it
Exactly.
sling.
Yeah.
Um, Last game before we go into Florida State and Miami. Mississippi State almost beat Tennessee last week. That was an insane game.
Yeah.
Um, Goes into maybe the hardest place to play in college football, Texas A&M, 7:30 at night. That place is going to be rocking. Texas A&M 15 and a half favorites. 15 and a half point favorites, excuse me. Um, well, what are your thoughts on that game? You think Mississippi State covers or no?
I mean, I think that stadium's really rough, and Texas A&M's a really good team this year. But I think
Mhm.
15 and a half is a lot of points for Mississippi State. I think they cover.
Yeah. Um, I it's hard to see that. I think Marcel Reed, when he is on, is a top 10 at least, if not top five. Am I crazy for
Yeah.
that? Quarterback in
Hmm.
the country. When his confidence is at an all time high, he plays at an all time high. So if that's the case in this game, if Mississippi State's defense is soft and um, gives up like a touchdown on the first drive, that could be really, really bad for Mississippi State, and Texas A&M could roll away as like 25 point win for Texas A&M. Um, but I think it's hard to say. I would stay away from the spread because you never know what could happen.
Hmm.
But if I had to pick, I would take Texas A&M to cover just because I think they're more experienced. Um, they have the more explosive offense in my opinion. Um, but definitely, I hope it's a fun game. I hope it's a shootout,
Yeah.
the just like the Mississippi State Tennessee game was. Because if you could watch that in Miami Florida State at the same time, you're watching two potential shootouts.
Yeah.
Um, a insane way to end college football.
Yeah. There's a good slate. We
Yeah,
got the two 3:30s are good and the two 7:30s are good. Like that's a
yeah,
nice Saturday right there.
yeah. All right, now to switch over to the Florida games, Florida teams, I should say, but talking about the Florida game.
Yep.
Florida and Texas, a game that many people thought was going to be like comp going into this year. Everybody thought Arch Manning, DJ Lagway, two Heisman candidates. Like, obviously, it hasn't turned out that way. They both suck. Um, both smell like
Terrible.
shiz. Billy Napier said in a like post practice conference that this is the best practice that DJ Lagway's had. Um, we don't know if that's true. You kind of want to say that just to hype your quarterback up.
Hmm.
It could be like a little boost to confidence, but that guy definitely has to turn things around. Everybody knows about his five picks against LSU, but what I find amazing about that game is he threw five picks, and LSU only scored 20 points.
Yeah.
That defense is legit. Florida's defense, if they don't lose um, like that drive of like where everybody's bought in and is competing every week, then they'll be the best defense in the country at the end of the year.
Hmm.
They, like I said, they just put straight BTA. I mean, I don't understand it. When you look at defenses in any level of football, if your offense is not doing anything, eventually your body's gonna wear down. You're not gonna have any desire to play in the game. But
Yeah.
it hasn't looked that way in any game that Florida's played so far. Which
Hmm.
I think that is what Billy does so well is they all want to play for him. I think he's the worst play caller. I don't think he's a great head coach. If he had a really good offensive coordinator, then I think he'd be a good head coach.
Yeah.
But he, everybody in that locker room likes Billy. Like I said, they all want to play for him. I think that's why the defense performs so well. They obviously have a really strong locker room between the players. There's a good connection between everybody, offense and defense, which
Hmm.
is why I think the defense plays so well. Um, like I said, Billy's play calling brings me to my next point. We're both Florida State fans,
Yeah.
but I hate to watch Florida throw bubble screen after bubble screen, wide receiver screen, running back screen.
Yeah.
I even as a Florida State fan, I want Florida to play well all season, so then if we beat them at the end of the year, we look that much better. So
Yeah.
it frustrates me watching them play like this. When you have a running back who is an absolute dog, like I hate to say it, Ball is a dog, and the wide receiver room is stacked too. I understand why you, throwing bubble screens and getting lagways, these little completions, is not going to help his momentum at all. You're just throwing the ball 3 yards behind the line. Like
Yeah.
you're not doing anything to get him going. You need to let him throw the ball. You need to throw corner routes, post routes, deep slants. Like get these wide receivers in space, in motion. Trey Wilson is fast. Get him in motion. Like get him coming across the line and then running the like let him fly off the
Yeah.
line. If they're in man defense, you can tell. Just put them in motion. You can find out what defense they're in. I think they just struggle with play calling a lot. They struggle with getting their offense doesn't get going fast enough.
Yeah.
You gotta open up the pass game so you can open up the run game with Ball. He's like I said, nuts. Last point I have on this game is um, Arch Manning. He has not played up to everybody's expectation. A lot of talk is he didn't play anybody in high school, so why would you expect him to be a good college quarterback? Um, I think Arch has to just control the game, not turn the ball over. They win this game. Their defense is good enough.
Yeah.
Um, he's just got to, when it's third and short, it's third and long, those third downs are crucial. You gotta be able to pick up the first. If you're throwing it, you gotta be able to pick up the first. If your reads aren't there, you've got to be able to get out of the pocket. I think Florida is going to test Arch. I think this is maybe Arch's big. Rather than Ohio State, who has a very good defense, I think you kind of don't know what you're going into that game. Your
Hmm.
Texas, Ohio State, big game in the playoffs last year. You you got a little bit of touches here and there last year. You weren't the main guy, so you're just going into that game playing free. I think the defense, Florida's defense, is developed. They've played together a while. Um, I think this is Arch's first true test. Um, Not taking any credit away from what Ohio State did. Obviously, had him in a box, and he had to figure some things out on how to move the ball, which he didn't. But you've got film to watch. After 3 4 weeks, um, you've got games under your belt now. I think this game for Arch shows us what kind of quarterback he is. What
Yeah.
do you take away from this game?
I completely agree with that. I mean, I think whoever wins this game, it's whichever quarterback plays better. So, like, whoever has the less turnovers this game, I think will win this game because that's the problem with both teams right now, especially with DJ Lagway. I mean, I'm not going to put it all on him. I think the play calling's pretty bad. Billy
Yeah,
Napier only doing bubble screens. I mean, you can do bubble screens once in a while, but the only way to open up screens is by doing like deeper routes and that stuff. So they
yeah,
spread out and
yeah.
cushion themselves a little bit. But they're just, yeah, they screens won't work if you don't do anything else.
Yeah, it's just too
And
bland.
yeah, yeah. And then the defenses on both teams Texas's defense is ridiculous and Florida's defense is ridiculous. I think this is going to be a crazy defensive battle. So I don't think either of the quarterbacks will do good. But I mean, yeah, I think if you put a lot of pressure on Lagway, I think that will win Texas the game if they do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Over under at this game is 42. You want to talk on that a little bit? You think, or could you see it going over? I know you're a fan of the under in this game, but could you see it going over?
mm, I don't think so. I mean, unless I think the only way it goes over is if Lagway performs like people said. Like I think you said that Florida was doing good in practice all week, and that's what Billy Napier said. I think if that's really true, it'll hit the over. But
Okay.
other than that, you know,
Yeah, I can see that being the case. I think if Lagway slings it, they score in the first quarter. Maybe Texas doesn't score. Florida gets the ball back, scores another touchdown. It's 14-0. Uh, and then Steve Sarkisian's got to dig into the bag a little bit and get that ball moving on offense. It could turn into a shootout. Both don't think it will. 42 is pretty low for college football, though.
yeah,
So
that's
you
true.
never know what can happen. But you saw it in the USF game. I mean, what a snooze fest of a football game that was. And the over cleared in that game when a lot of people thought the over was going to hit. Um,
Yeah,
so you don't know. I agree with you. Just depends on what version of the quarterbacks you're going to get. Who do you got winning?
I got Texas winning. I'm not gonna lie,
You think
but
they're going to cover the 5.5 or no?
I don't think they'll cover. I think to be too low scoring to the point where it won't even like. I think it'd be
Yeah.
like 16 to like 10, like 16 to
Yeah.
12.
I'm going to go. I'm going to have Texas. Honestly, I could very easily, like, I could see Florida winning this game.
Yeah, same. I could see that too.
It's just based off what you saw last year, like especially that Ole Miss game. I could see him winning, but man, that 170 looks nice. Plus money for the Gators.
Uh,
Yeah, it's just I can't
mm,
take Florida with how they've looked. It looked awful this year. I'll take Texas. I would not bet the spread in this game.
yeah, me neither.
Like you said, I
Uh,
think it's going to be low scoring. I'd probably go like I almost want to say that the max one of these teams scores is 17. Like it's going to be 17 to
yeah,
something. Like I don't think anything goes over 17 in this game.
I completely agree.
Um, yeah, we're both going Texas. Um, we'll take Florida to cover though, and we're taking the under. Right here, read it,
Mm-hmm.
take it, locks, not action.
Locks.
All right,
Don't listen.
don't listen, bro. Don't. Final college football game we're going to talk about, the big one in the state, Miami going to Tallahassee, 7:30. Lee Corso's in town. You know who's not in town? Kirk Herbstreit. Where you at, Kirk? We know this is you. You're the reason that college game day is not in Tallahassee. It's only you. It's not because we lost to Virginia. It's because of you. You're scared. I loved you as a kid growing up. I watched college game day. I've watched almost every single college game day since 2013. I don't even know how old I was, Kirk. And you're scared. Just what if I want to watch college game day in person, you know? I did in 2013. I didn't even know everybody's name on the broadcast besides Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit and Desmond Howard. So what about the people like me, Kirk? The people who just want to show up and watch ball and don't hate you.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been defending you. I've been dying on this hill that you do like Florida State when everybody's hating on you. So why can't you show up for the people like me, huh? Anyways,
Yep. But we just wanted to see Peter. Like, come on. You have the chance to bring Peter to Tallahassee, and you don't. That just disappoints me. Truly, I can't get over it.
yeah. Kirk, I'm really disappointed. I was going to be there in Tallahassee if college game day was there.
Mm-hmm.
However, um, you're not. Um, so that hurts me.
I mean, I would
I
have drained
missed,
that cake too.
yeah,
Trust me.
um, missed out on one. Not want to say a once in a lifetime opportunity because I've already been to college game day, but it would have been one of the most electric weekends of my life.
Yeah.
Anyways, get into the game. My key takeaways. Starting with Cassidy. He's ranked like number one in passing right now by PFF. His passing grade. Obviously, um, when you destroy Kent State and you destroy East Texas A&M, your stats are going to look good. So I think that's, I hate that being posted recently. For obviously, he's going to see
Hmm.
that. Fans
Yeah,
are
you
going to buy
reposted
into
it too.
yeah, fans are going to buy into the hype. I don't know if I've seen enough from him passing. I I've seen enough to think that he can go and win this game throwing. Um, but I think he's got to be pretty perfect. Miami's D line is disgusting. Our O line has to be way better than they were in the Virginia game. The fourth quarter, they looked like how our offensive line has looked in previous years, just horrible. We need the exact same team that played in the Alabama game to show up
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
Miami game. It was night and day, completely different than what you got in the Virginia game. I'm saying between the Alabama and Virginia game, two different
Hmm.
teams. That Florida State
Yeah.
team. I think Cassie still played his heart out in the Virginia game. You could see when he threw that pick and he got batted. It was a stupid pick. Um,
Yeah.
you could see how pissed he was. Like being at Florida State and winning at Florida State means something to him, which I love to see. I think he's a great leader. Um, I still Cassidy is not my. I'm not worried about him. Like I said, I think his passing needs to be just like you got to be perfect. Like those passes that are open, you can't miss open receivers in this game. If it's a 3rd and 7, you got a guy on a post on a slant, whatever, and he's wide open. You can't miss those throws.
Yeah.
Um, the open throws cannot be missed in this game. Um, my second point is Florida State's defense. Like I said in the Virginia game, I think this was the biggest problem in the Virginia game. I think completely non-existent. D line, when you have Daryl Jackson getting triple teamed, that leaves your other guys one on one on the outside. Jared Verse would have died for that. Jared Verse in that Virginia game would have had 8 sacks. Like not a question. If your defensive tackle in the middle is getting triple teamed, the right guard, the center, the left guard is guarding him. Sometimes the left guard, the left tackle, the center is guarding him. It happened in the Alabama game too. There's your defensive ends have got your edge rushers have got to get pressure on the quarterback. Carson Beck, he's not as much of a scrambler as the Virginia quarterback was. Hit Carson Beck early, get him rattled. I mean, when that stadium's loud and plus he's rattled, you saw it in the Florida game. I mean, they were home and he looked rattled,
Hmm.
just going against Florida's defense. So if you get the defense that was in the Alabama game against Miami this weekend tomorrow, um, then it's a nightmare for Carson Beck. Obviously, you like to still benefit him in the situation because he's got all this experience. He went against a really good defense last week. Everything favors Carson Beck to be able to handle this. Um, but still, you got to show up. You can't. That defense against Virginia cannot be the defense that shows up against Miami. You'll lose this game by 35, 40. It won't be a close
Yep.
game. Um, Another thing I want to talk about kind of goes into that is Miami's offensive line. They are disgusting. Maybe they're top 5 O line in the country. They're units, but in the Alabama game, you go against Proctor, who is, I believe, 6. If he's not 6'6", he's 6'8". He's one of the two, and he's like 350. And I mean, he didn't look like the top 5 pick everybody was saying in the draft against Florida State. And I think that's because we were so offended going into that game. So, like, tired of being so disrespected. Like, this isn't the same 2-10 team. Like, y'all are finna see.
Hmm.
But they have to, I think everybody in the room in Florida State has to have that same mindset as we're not going to be disrespected. We're going to go into this Miami game firing and showing y'all why we should be back ranked top 12.
Yep.
What do you think about this game?
I mean, I completely agree with everything you just said. But honestly, we need to start fast, and that starts with the offense with Gus. I mean, I think if he has really good play calling this game, because like he is a really good play caller, but I think if we score on that first drive and we like,
Oh boy,
yeah,
you
it's
you score on that little play act over the top. That place
just a little explosive.
erupts.
Yeah, it. I don't think if we score first drive and Carson Beck has to come out there when they're losing 0-7, I don't think you'll have that much offense. Yep.
This is Carson Beck. This is Carson Beck. I mean, oh man, that would be just the dream,
And
absolute dream scenario.
with new renovated Doak 2 first night game, it's gonna get electric. Electric. People don't realize it yet, but some people don't even know that Doak was getting renovated last year,
Yeah,
but they're gonna know tonight tomorrow night. It's gonna be
yeah,
bad. But yeah, starting fast is big. I think FSU's defense as a whole, I think they really need to stop the run because Miami's really good at that perimeter running. And like you said, our defensive ends were nowhere to be found last game. If if they get a hang of that and our defensive ends don't do anything, it's not going to be a good look for Florida State. So I think we really have to stop that.
yeah,
But yeah, that run game is ridiculous. You saw it in the Florida game. They were able. Carson Beck did good that first drive, and they were able to control it for the rest of the game just by running the ball. Is and
yeah,
their D line. I think we need to make it where the game doesn't really involve physicality because you can just tell their D line unit is really physical. I think we need to throw the ball quick, pitches to the outside, like perimeter runs, get Tommy out of the pocket and do some big scrambles. But yeah,
yeah.
that's all I
Um,
got.
I I saw at times in that Virginia game where the play calling from Gus kind of questioned me.
Mhm. Yeah,
He's the first 3 games of the week he's been locked in, and there were some really questionable plays. Um, I'm trying to remember, there was one player in specific that really, I think it was Tommy's pick. Um, they had ran the ball all the way down the field on that drive, and
yeah,
then inside the 10 on that drive. I believe they were inside the 10 when he threw that pick. Um, why are you even putting the ball in? Like, why is it going in the air there? You just
yeah,
ran all the way down the field. Just continue to run it out. I don't think you're going to be able to do that against. I think that was a problem in the Virginia game because um, Virginia was capitalizing on every mistake we made and going down and putting up points, which had I think our team just panicked. They're like, all right, we gotta throw it. Like we don't have enough time, just throw it. It's like you got a whole football game. The run was the run was working. Um, I mean, obviously the pass was at times too. Deuce Robinson had an insane game.
hmm
Johnny Wilson build, and he's playing like Keon Coleman. He's playing like Kelvin Benjamin in that game. So
yeah,
I understand
yeah,
throwing it to him. He made some insane plays in that game, but I don't think you're going to be able to run the ball as great against Miami. I don't think you how good you ran the ball in against Alabama. I don't think will happen in this Miami game.
Mhm.
Like you said, the D line is nuts. Their whole front, their D line, their O line is disgusting this year.
It's
Uh,
crazy.
it's a huge part of why they're playing so well.
Hmm.
But yeah, like you said, you've got to Gus Malzahn has got to get creative this game, and not just you can't keep running the end around to Danzy. I mean, it was working. It worked great in the Alabama game, but you can only run that play so many times. You've got to switch it up. You've got to. You saw it. I noticed this in the Alabama Georgia game. Um, Kirby Smart, Georgia ran a fake end around. So they had the guy come in motion on the jet sweep, and then they had the wide receiver come around like Danzy would to get the ball and turn up field. Instead, the guy just kept it on the sweep. You saw, if you watch, I can maybe pull up the clip and show it. the entire back front like hesitated. The safeties, secondary, they hesitated to go on that sweep because of what they saw against Florida State. And I mean, he just kept it, huge gain. Um, I think you've got to do a little bit of that if you're Gus Malzahn. If you're going to run those end around sweeps, you've got to have some options built into where the wide receivers are reading if he wants to pitch it, if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Read options could be big for Tommy. Um,
Hmm.
if you establish the run in this game, then I think Florida State wins easily. If they're able to run the ball against Miami, they're going to win it
Yeah.
easily.
I completely
Um,
agree.
Obviously, it's nice to open up the pass a little bit here and there. It takes some, I mean, that opens up the pass. Play action, if you're running the ball super well, you get Deuce Robinson wide open. You saw it in the Alabama game where Tommy just let it fly to Squirrel White on the opening drive on 3rd and long. So Florida State could easily win this game. I think it's creativity and how hard the defense plays are my biggest two when it comes to Florida State winning that game. If you're Miami, you can't let the noise get to you. Carson Beck has to look calm and composed like he did against Notre Dame. The defense they have to out physical Florida State's offense. They've got to out physical our D line, out physical our O line. That's how Miami wins this game. You got anything else on that game or no? We can move on.
One more thing. Deuce Robinson, every Miami DB.
Yeah.
Who's guarding Deuce Robinson? Let's be honest here. I mean, if you throw jump ball fades, they're not stopping that. I'm being honest here. Yep,
Lure.
exactly. But yeah, that's
I mean, straight's not.
every single time. And he's not going to bubble at this time.
No. Yeah. All right. Predictions. Final score. What's the spread? 5.5, I think.
What's the over under? I don't know what the over.
I'll go check really quick. All right. Florida State is plus 4.5, and the over under is 53.5.
That's a good line.
I'm taking 53. I think if it starts how the Alabama games, if it starts fast for Florida State, I'm taking the over. Obviously, you can't before the game. I think the over hits if Florida State starts fast and scores. I
Definitely.
think if not, I think the under hits. But it's hard to say that at the same time because you saw Florida State go down against Virginia, and then they just had an absolute shootout.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so hard to tell if you're going into this game and Florida State beats Virginia by 2 scores. It's all Florida State, not a doubt, not even a question. But after that, it's either they're going to bounce back and respond. This game means that much more. I think an ACC title is on the line in this game. If you lose this game, then you're basically relying. If you lose this game and play good, then you're basically relying on Georgia Tech to lose a couple games to make the ACC chip. But if you win this game, you probably win out, and then you're block to play Miami again, most likely in the ACC championship for a chance to make playoffs. So I mean, you could say it's a rivalry. There's a lot on the line. I'm going to take Florida State to win. Obviously, Florida State to cover if I'm taking that, and then I'm going to take the over because I think just Doak that night in that atmosphere, it's going to be players are going to feel the juice. It'll be a shootout.
I mean, if it hits the over, I mean, like if it doesn't hit the over, it's like it's gonna be way under. That's my prediction. Like because, man, Miami's defense is crazy. It's hard because Florida State has a really good offense, and then Miami has a really good defense, and then the other side it's kind of just like mid. I feel like. So I'm gonna go with the over though, and then I'm gonna have Florida State covering. It just matters how good the play calling is with Florida State. Honestly, if Gus locks in,
Florida State if Gus locks in.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, I had one more thing to say, but it just completely. Oh, you were saying how, yeah, if it's not, it's either going to be way over or way under. Like you said,
Yeah.
I agree. I see this game being either 39 to 40 something, or I can see it being 21 to 17. Final score for me, though, I'm going to go Florida State. Go Florida State 42, Miami 37.
I'm gonna go Florida State 38, Miami 31.
I like it. All in on the Knowles.
Yeah.
Next up, we are headed to the NFL Sunday. A couple teams on a bye week. Um, we've got some good games this week. First, tomorrow at 9 a.m. will be the Vikings and the Browns. We're just gonna pretty much we can talk shortly or briefly on everything, um, and then score predictions, spreads, so on and so forth.
Oh, gambling.
Oh, oh yeah.
I love gambling.
Gambling. All right. First game, 9:30 a.m. The Vikings and the Browns play. Dylan Gabriel making his first start. The
Hmm.
Vikings just had a heartbreaking loss against the Steelers. Once again, out of the country. Vikings are still out of the country, so it could be a
Yep.
little scary. Uh, a little trap game where people think, oh, Dylan Gabriel sucks. Um, but and the Vikings are on the road again. Oh no, grown adults are out of the country for a little bit and playing that. Yeah. Anyways, I don't think Dylan Gabriel's got the dog in him. I think the Vikings are much better coached. Um,
Yep, definitely.
I'm gonna take the Vikings to win. Um, I think Quinshon Junkins has a good game rushing early on.
For you gamblers out there.
Yeah, his rushing yards are free, in case you're wondering. Um, but I'm going to take the Vikings to win, and I would take the alternate spread at 2.5, not 3.5, just because you never know.
Yep. All right. Gabriel's first start. Scary game playing at Linden first game, and he's going to get to Brian Flores defense. I'm not gonna lie, Carson Wentz scares me a lot. Browns defense really really good. Vikings have a couple of linemen injured. I think Jordan Mason's not gonna have a good game. I think Judkins is gonna go off like you said. A surprising play here, I think Isaiah Bond might have a good game since he's wide receiver two now. No, eh, you'll see. But I got the dogs, baby. The dogs. They're winning this one.
Um, it's Jerry Judy season. If you're going wide receiver in this game, uh, Isaiah Bond is not that guy. He isn't Madden. Sorry. No, I'm not hating on Isaiah Bond. I like him a lot. I think he has a good game, but I need Jerry Judy to get involved. For the love of God. Jerry Judy. If you can hear me, Jerry Judy, I'm begging. I need just 8 points a week. You're getting 7, 8, 9 targets a game. Just catch the damn ball, Jerry Judy. All right. Next game. So we're opposites on that. We're going Vikings and Browns.
Yep.
Next game, Texans going to Baltimore to play the Ravens. The Ravens are without Lamar Jackson. I'm pretty sure Kyle Van Noy, Kyle Hamilton, and Marlon Humphrey are out.
Roquan Smith too, I think. Yeah, they're top defensive back. It's gonna be rough.
The Texans offense blows, um, but when you're going against a defense that is this banged up, and you got guys with experience. Nico's still a very good wide receiver. Stroud has not been playing good, but he's got experience. I'm going to take the Texans. It's 1.5. I'm going to take the Texans to win and cover, and a prop in this game, two prop, or I'll give my one prop that I like a lot in this game. I think the Texans will score more than 20 points. The Ravens have allowed a lot of points this year. The only team to not cover that they've played is the Browns, and they still scored 17. I think the Texans can score more than that on a hurt defense. So my one prop of the game is Texans to score over 20 and a half. And I got the Texans winning by at least 3.
I mean, like you said, all of those injuries on the defense, Lamar Jackson injured. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Texans offense, it's their O line. Like you can just tell every single position in their O line is terrible. I think CJ Stroud's still good. I think he's just let down by his O line. But Ravens not having a good defensive line is going to let the Texans skyrocket this game. I think it's going to be a complete blowout. I'm taking the alternate spread minus 6.5.
Uh, Dirty dog of the week. I actually like that too. I do think the Texans. I think they win by a field goal. I think they very easily could win by a touchdown, like you said. All right, next game we have the Raiders going to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Colts are 6.5-point favorites. Probably would have been higher if they beat the Rams last week, but they didn't.
Donnie Mitchell dropped it at the 1 yard line.
Geno Smith, Pete Carroll trying to get back, trying to get their season back on the right track. Indy trying to stay out of the losing column, trying to keep going on the winning column. I'm taking the Colts minus 6.5 easily. I think they win by like 10. Not gonna lie. Yeah, taking the Colts.
Yeah, not a big Geno fan. I think Genty's not going to come back with like a bounce back with another good game. I think it's going to be a real big defensive game. I don't think Jonathan Taylor will have a big game either. I'm going to go under his rushing yards.
Wow, I'll take
that Raiders run defense is really good, but yeah, I'm going to have Colts covering though.
Yeah. On to the next, the Denver Broncos. Big win, put belt, but they're going to Philly. The Eagles are only -4 in this game. I think it's just because of the lack of offense they've shown. I mean, they can score when needed. They just haven't really showed a lot this year. This could very well be a trap game. There hasn't been many teams. I mean, it feels like every week when the Eagles play somebody, it's like, all right, Eagles are a lock. But there's not many teams that have, in recent years, who have gone undefeated. You had the Patriots a little while back, and then they lost in the Super Bowl. Rip pain for any Patriot fans. So I can see this being a trap game. I don't think Bo Nix has played well enough, though, to be able to beat this team. So I like I said, I can see this being a trap game, but personally, I'm still taking the Eagles, and I'm taking the Eagles to cover 4. I'd probably take an alternate line just to get a little bit more money at like 6.5.
Yeah, I think I definitely got the Eagles here too. I don't think Denver will be scoring much points in this game, but I don't really know about the Eagles' offense because Denver's defense is really good. But yeah, I got Philly winning by a good amount. Probably about, I could see them winning by more than 10,
Yeah,
but I think it'll be like 6.5 and 4.5. That Eagles defense is just really, really good.
yeah, they are. They're literally their entire team is just what Kirby Smart has sent to the NFL and what Nick Saban sent to the NFL. There's a lot of chemistry in that team, and there's a lot of swagger. I like the Eagles. They could go back to back if their offense just gets it together. They are getting carried by that defense, and they lost pieces in the offseason. People are like, they're not going to be the same team, but I mean, their defense is still nuts. So if the offense gets it clicking, they could easily go back to back. Next, my game of the week, one of my games of the week, if not the game of the week for me, is the Cowboys and the Jets in New York. I like the Cowboys to win, and I love the over. Um,
Hmm.
Cowboys defense is buns. I love. We actually did some locking in on some player props. We love
For like
Justin
2
Fields.
hours.
Yeah, we love Justin Fields over. We love Garrett Wilson over. These the Cowboys rank 32nd in quarterback yards, so dead last in giving up yards to quarterbacks, and then they rank 28th, I believe, in wide receiver yards. And then you got Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson. Garrett's hit his line, by the way, in like every game besides one, which is he had 50 something. So you could take an alternate line and take Garrett Wilson at plus 50 yards, Justin Fields over yards, take the Cowboy spread. In my opinion, I could see this game going either way if the Jets really start to click. But I think Dak is like really on a mission this year. You saw it in the Packers game. He was locked in. Like he looked
Yep.
so serious in the pre and post game interviews. I can see the Cowboys like going like being a little streaky team this year and then probably losing in the first round of the playoffs. But uh, I'm gonna take the Cowboys minus 1.5. I'm gonna take the over and then Garrett Wilson yards and Justin Fields yards.
Yeah, you're right. The shootout, it's going to be slamming the over. Like, I think it's going to be really hard for it not to over. Justin Field passing yards, agreed. Garrett Wilson over receiving. I think he has 100 plus. Um, yeah, that Cowboys defense is just horrendous. Nothing good about it. Just shows how big of an impact Michael Parsons had on them. Because, wow, it is bad. But if I'm to be honest, I'm going to take Jets money line. I don't think they're going to be able to stop Justin Fields. And if they do, I don't think they'll be able to stop Garrett Wilson. Like, I can't see the Cowboys defense stopping the Jets at all. But if I'm player props, any player prop this game, you take it, probably going to hit. It's like Lions and Commanders last year in the playoffs. Literally every single one hit. I think it's going to be the same thing this game.
Yeah. Um, Lions Commanders last year was lit. Uh, Me and the boys we took a player prop each in that game, and we took two player props each, and it hit. It was the most electric bet I've ever sweat in my life. We had Jared Goff to rush for a single yard, and he did it on the last drive of the game. Um, After there was a fourth and one or fourth and inches. We thought he was going to push to get it earlier in the game, and he didn't. And yeah, when that hit, we literally were. It was one of the greatest nights ever. Um, but yeah, praying for a shootout. Hope it's a shootout. Would be a really good game.
My
Um,
bank account relies on it. I'm not gonna lie. Put a lot of money on it to be screwed out.
yeah, definitely. Um, Wait, can you still hear me? All right. Can you still hear me?
Huh?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, bet. All right, next we got the Dolphins going to Carolina. A battle of hot garbage mid. Maybe the worst game of the week. The over-under is at 44. It could go over just because of how bad these teams suck. There could just be a couple of touchdowns here and there. You could see a kickoff return. This is one of those just disgusting games to stay away from.
Yep.
I After watching the Panthers against the Jags, I still like them. I didn't think that they were an awful team. But as it's gone on this season, I just see them getting like worse and worse. And then the Dolphins, you obviously lose Tyreek last week. Not that he wanted to play a single game that he showed up to anyways. Um, so I don't know. Weird game. Just because it's in Carolina, I'll take the Panthers. I don't feel great about it, but I don't trust either of these teams to win. I think they'll both just somehow lose. It'll be a tie 0-0 or something.
All right, I'm gonna go against that. I think Dolphins will win, and I think A-Chain is gonna dominate this game. A lot of people are saying Jalen Waddle is gonna have a good game since this is his second game with being a wide receiver one. First game he had, he went crazy. And I don't know. I think J.C. Horn is going to lock him up. He's been doing crazy all season. Choval, I think Panthers running backs will do good too. I just think both defensive lines are very bad. So I just think it's to be dominated on the ground this game. But
Yeah, the more I kind of forgot about Chuba being out. I still like Rico a lot. That's why I stayed away from Chuba in um, fantasy drafts this year. I still think
the traded
Rico.
for
Yeah,
him.
still think Rico is a great back. I think, like I said, it could go either way. But I would not bet on this game.
Yeah.
Next, we got the New York Giants going to New Orleans to face the Saints. A lot of people like the Giants this week after a big win last week over the Chargers. However, the Saints playing really good against the Bills for a majority of that game. Um, kind of gonna puts me on the edge. I don't really know who I like in this game. I like Cam Scatterbo yards, that's for
hmm
sure.
Yep.
Um, if I had to pick, I just don't trust Dart yet. Pretty sure he had under 100 passing yards in that game, which kind of scares me. What if the Saints put up some points early and you're going to have to rely on him to throw the ball? He hasn't showed it this season, maybe in the preseason, but are we counting the preseason? Um, so I'm going to take this. If I was to bet on this game, I'm going to take the Saints money line. It's only 1.5, so I'd take the Saints to cover. Um, but yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah. It feels like a trap game right here. Like you just think Giants are gonna win. I'm gonna still take them, but like I have a really bad feeling about it. Both defenses are you Giants defense on paper looks really good, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. I think Alvin Kamara would have a good game. I think both running backs are gonna go off, just like the other game.
You
Um,
wanna you wanna open up the next game? Your 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 guys. You can give the opening segment on this game.
you don't want to take it, baby. So you couldn't tell we're talking about the Seahawks and Bucks game. And I'm obviously going to take the Seahawks. Witherspoon out, Julian Love out, DeMarcus Lawrence out. I don't care. Seahawks are winning by 7 points. They have Bucky Irving out, two starting corners out. It's looking really rough for them. But yeah, I think Seahawks defense dominates this game. Nick McGorry coming back for his second game. Not much film on him. I think I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to handle Mike McDonald's schemes at all. But yeah, I think Sam Darnold dominates this game too.
Wowza. Um, I think Baker last week choking um, probably makes me lean towards Seattle this game. They have not been great at home though,
hmm
um, which is kind of scary. However, Baker was didn't practice a lot this week. Guys that have been in the league that long don't really that doesn't affect him as much. But you're still getting reps. You're still weekly practice matters.
Yeah.
I could see this game going either way. The Seahawks looked a little sketchy against the Cardinals later in the game. They dominated like the whole game though. Um, then the Bucks, I mean, looked really good coming back against the Eagles, but then the week prior looked really bad against the Falcons, who got spanked.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, it's just I think it's whoever plays more physical, whoever wants it more. But I don't think the Bucks have anybody to really stop JSN or I,
Yeah.
people forget about Cooper Cup just because he's not in a big role anymore. He could still
hmm
go off like at any, I feel like he's still any second he can go off. Um, I think the Seahawks rushing game wins this for the Seahawks. I'd take the Seahawks 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. I'm
Yeah.
not I'm not touching 6. My lock would be probably 4.5 is where I would bet on this, and I'd probably take the over, which is at 44.5 as well.
Yeah. Well, one more thing. Crazy uniform matchup. It's 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 gonna look really good out there. My eyes will be blessed. That's all I
Yeah,
gotta say.
best uniform matchup of the year. Seattle wearing throwbacks, the Bucks also wearing
The
the
creamsicle.
cream um, electric. That is one of my top 3 games of the week to watch.
Yep.
Next, we got another snooze fest. Titans, Cardinals. I'm taking the under in this game, and I'll take the Cardinals to win by a touchdown. It's at 7.5. I would alternate it at 6.5. Cam Ward hates his team, but still goes and plays like he wants to play football. So you never know what they could do. Marvin Harrison might be back. Uh, so I'll take the Cardinals to win by a touchdown.
Yeah. Me personally would not bet on this game. Both these teams are really weird, especially the Cardinals. Look good one week, look bad another week. I think Cam Ward has a good game, but I don't think it's gonna be good enough. And I think Cardinals will come out with the win. But I think the spread will cover for Titans. Hot take.
Wow. I mean, I don't hate it. Like you said, both teams are weird. The Cardinals could win by 30 or they could lose the game. Like, just weird teams.
Yeah.
Next, the second game in the 4 o'clock slate, the Commanders get Jaden Daniels back, still without Terry McLaurin, going to LA to play the Chargers. I don't know how Jaden. I didn't think Jaden looked great in the start of the season. The Chargers are probably pull. I would expect them to come out a little more hot and aggressive after a loss like that to the Giants. So I'm gonna take the Chargers -3, and I probably like the under in this game. Tend to s- I've seen recently that the 47-ish number has not been hit a lot recently. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll just take the under just because you don't know. You could get a weak Chargers team again, and then the Commanders could look like crap. Um, so I like the Chargers to win this game. If you want to put their money line in anything, but I wouldn't really touch the over under or the spread. I would just like the Chargers to win this game.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Chargers are gonna dominate this game, or I think it's gonna be high scoring. So I do think the over will hit, but I just can't see the Commanders' defense to stop the Chargers. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore has looked terrible. I mean, every single wide receiver he's played, he's getting dusted. He's washed. He should retire. Honestly, it's kind of sad, but it's bad. Commanders shouldn't have traded for him. That's all I got to say. And I think Quentin Johnston's going to go off. I think Justin Herbert's going to go off. I think Hampton's going to go off. I think this is potentially could get rough for the Commanders. I know that's crazy to say, but I can see Chargers scoring a lot of points. It just matters if Commanders will score a lot of points too. But I got Chargers money line.
Yeah, I definitely like um, the Chargers to win. Like I said, I don't like JD coming back. I think it's well, it's either I don't think Jaden plays mid this game. I think he either is like back to what he like how he has been playing earlier in the season, or he lights it
Mm-hmm.
up like how he did last year. Like
Completely
you said, I
agree.
don't think the Commanders defense can hold the Chargers offense if they're clicking.
Yep.
4:25 kickoff for the Lions and the Bengals. I think we can like skip over this game. Both take the line spread by 10. If it goes up to 12.5, I'd probably still like it. If it goes up to 13.5, I'd probably still like it. I'm going to take the Lions to win, and I'll probably take the line. I'll take the over in the game just because I think the Lions could score 50 points.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
not gonna lie. I don't think if the line was at 30.5, I don't think I would take plus 30 for Bengals. Like that's how bad it is.
Yeah, I I agree, unfortunately. Um, Next, Patriots and Bills. Sneaky little game. Drake May is playing
Mhm.
pretty well. Um, could be a huge statement win for the Patriots. The Bills looked pretty sloppy at the start last week against the Saints, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to still take the Bills -8 though. If it was in Foxborough, could be a little more sketchy, but I'm going to take the Bills -8. I think they'll win this game by at least 10.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to disagree there. I'm gonna take the Patriots plus 8. Crazy take. I mean, it's a scary one. I would not bet on it honestly,
Yeah.
but Stephon Diggs playing against his one of his former teams, had a lot. Um, yeah, I think he's gonna have a good game. I mean, I still think Bills are gonna win because you can't those all white unis. You literally can't lose in those. That's really sad. Those are sick,
They
but
are fire.
I think I think it's actually gonna be high scoring though.
I could see it. I hope so.
Yeah,
Um,
give me a good Sunday night game again. That doesn't
Yep,
end in a tie.
absolute peak. Then we get Monday night, another elite uniform. Jags are wearing their throwbacks. We will be at the game.
Hmm.
Chiefs, big win last week over the Ravens. Lamar did get hurt. Defense was still banged up. But the Chiefs' offense looked way better than it has. They just look better as a whole. I think their defense is pretty solid still. Um, because I'm biased, I'm going to take the Jags to win this game. I think they are like top three in the league when it comes to that locker room being connected. I think Liam has done an insane job at building that locker room. We've got a lot of youth. It's probably the youngest front office and coaching staff in the league. So the players connect a lot. There's a lot of fun. Um, Obviously, the Chiefs have that team has been together for a while, and they all love Andy Reid. But I think the Jags really want this game. Um, I think it's going to be high scoring. I can see it being super low scoring just because both defenses are good, but I think it's going to be a shootout. It usually doesn't happen on um, these primetime games. You see shootouts here and there. You saw it with the Cowboys and Packers. You saw it with the Bills and Ravens. So I'm going to manifest that it happens again on Monday night. Jags Chiefs. I'm going to say high 30s, low 40s. Um,
Hmm.
but I'm going to take the Jags to win.
Yeah, I want me a good Monday night game too. A night game, especially going to it. I need a good one, but uh, it's a hard one. I've been going back and forth all week on the Chiefs and Jaguars. I think it's hard to bet on Mahomes in prime time, but the Jags have also looked really good on both sides of the ball. I am going to take the Jaguars, but I think I don't know. I think Xavier Worthy is going to dominate that Jaguars safety room because those balls over the top. I don't know if the Jaguars safeties are really good enough to handle that.
Yeah, I think the thing that helps the Jags play like a bend, don't break defense. They play pretty soft at times, and then if the team gets to like the 20-yard line, they're gonna be pretty aggressive. I think
Yeah,
that's what helps kind of in that scenario. But at the same time, if they're gonna play soft the whole game, they could throw it underneath to Xavier Worthy and
yeah,
pick up 13 yards on a little 2-yard slant or a little end route. So I do agree. I think Xavier Worthy could have a huge game. If he's lined up against Tyson Campbell, it could be trouble. Tyson Campbell on some plays looks like a top five corner in the league, and at other times he looks like a bottom five corner in the league. Um,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
there's a lot of ifs. There's a lot
Hmm.
of potential things that could happen, but we're gonna
It's gonna be a
both
really good game though. Very
yeah.
good game.
We're gonna both take the Jags. I think they have a little bit of that get back factor, or
Hmm.
that get back energy, I should say.
Yeah.
And then from losing to them in the playoffs a couple years ago, when they could have easily won, Jamal Agnew
Yeah.
fumbled, pain. But that is going to wrap it up for our first episode of the Audible Podcast.
Come on, baby. You
we
want to?
we will we'll be filming next week to recap all these games. We'll see what our records look like at the end between college and NFL football. Also give a preview going into next week, like how we're doing right now. And then we'll talk Thursday night football. We'll give our own little episode for that. It'll get its own episode. But we hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe. Turn on the post notifications so you don't miss when we upload. We hope y'all enjoyed. Go follow us on all of our socials. We'll see y'all next week. Peace out.